so this Shabbat we're going to be reading Parashat Zachor, which deals with Amalek, who attacked the Jews as they were leaving Egypt. And the commandment in the Torah after that was that we should literally eradicate the Amalekites in the world, which basically would mean going and killing not only the warriors who are fighting directly against us, rather killing the women and children as well. And I think that as modern Western thinkers, this really jars us, and it is worth discussing what exactly does the Torah mean by this, what does it mean to us morally, and so on. Just to start off, before we discuss anything, I personally believe that if there is dissonance between what you feel and what you think, even if it's the most fundamental beliefs you have, but if it's clear to you that the Torah says something, so you just have to give up whatever you personally think and go ahead and do what the Torah tells you. But that doesn't mean that every time there is dissonance, that is the automatic response you have to give to yourself. You can say, I am going to try to explore this and really figure out what exactly the Torah says. And if the outcome will be that there is a direct clash between my set of beliefs and what the Torah is telling me to do, so the Torah will take over. Now, the first source I brought here is Rambam in Hilchot Melchim, Halacha Daled. Not everybody agrees with Rambam, but the Rambam is of the opinion that if Amalekim say that they would like to make peace with the Jews, and they accept the Sheva Mitzvot B'nai Noach, which is different than any other nation who makes peace. Any other nation that makes peace with us must accept only the fact that we will rule the land, and they will not fight against us. The Amalekites have to accept also the 7 Noahide laws, and once they accept that, so we do not have to go out and kill anybody. And not only that, according to Rambam, an Amalekite can convert. And therefore, if you think of it, it's not like we're in this tragic situation that this person is standing there and saying, I believe in the same God that you believe, and I would like to follow him and go ahead and do his commandments. And you're standing there with tears in your eyes, and you have to pull the trigger, although, this person is such a righteous and wonderful human being. That's, at least according to Rambam, that situation should not occur. Because, really, if they decide to try and repent for what they did, and accept from now on to really to go on and do the 7 Noahide laws, so we will let them live. And if you think of it, these 7 Noahide laws are not anything really too complex that any civil human being would not want to fulfill. It all discusses moral issues and having a court system and so on. So this situation can definitely happen, and therefore it's not that there is some inherent mitzvah in the Torah to go out and kill a certain people regardless of what they think, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they are doing. Rather, we are fighting a nation that is currently fighting against us and against the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So that's one point to sort of start off and soothe this whole issue, which again really may strike us as almost unbelievable to find in the Torah, that we have to go out and kill an entire nation. Okay. Now, skipping about 800 years forward to Rav Moshe Feinstein. Rav Moshe Feinstein discusses a situation in which a Jewish doctor is called upon to attend to a non-Jewish person on Shabbat. This is not politically correct. We wouldn't want to say this out loud, although this is being recorded and going to be posted to the web. But, so at least I'm going to say, listen to the end. So, the basic law is that you are allowed to violate Shabbat in order to save people who are in danger. Now, that applies only to a Jew. If a Jew is in danger, you are allowed to violate Shabbat. The strict basic law is if a non-Jew is about to die, and you are the only one who can save that person, you are not supposed to violate Shabbat for them. Again, what do you think of this law? What does it do to you? Be open, it's fine, because I have a conclusion, so don't worry.
It seems counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive, okay, I think that's pretty mildly. Okay, anybody have it?
Stress and it seems morally wrong. The person is
Right. Okay, so listen to what Rav Moshe Feinstein says. He says that in, I'll just read like one sentence. According to the situation in our country at this time, there is a danger by having non-Jews hate us. And this danger is even greater and this is even more so in free countries. Remember, Rav Moshe Feinstein came from Russia, where he was persecuted as a Jew and was not able to fulfill certain some of the mitzvah. And he appreciated being in the United States that has freedom of religion. And he says, "Shehu al kol panim shelo k'she'al yedei ze lo yutze lehatzil nefashot." Just a second, I sort of lost the context. But bottom line is, Rav Moshe Feinstein says that in today's day and age, when everybody's going to know about this, it's, even think of this, I unfortunately did not write down when this was written, but it's a few decades ago. And today, it's even more so that within just a few minutes of such an occurrence, if somebody will refuse to give medical care to any human being, even though it's Shabbat, that's going to go viral. That's going to be like all over the place, and that will literally be a danger to Jews, because people are going to go around saying, "Oh, like Jews won't save a human being because of their Sabbath," and because of that, because it happens to be a danger, so we are allowed to go ahead and attend to that. Okay, so now I understand that it still seems to us, okay, so we're getting out on this sort of technical legal argument why we can do it. But what I would like to say is that we can claim or sort of analyze spiritually the situation in the world and say, wait, why is it that today, in today's day and age, when we automatically feel like that's impossible, some of my best friends are non-Jews, how am I just going to let this guy lie down dying? I'll give you an even more severe situation. I have some non-Jewish friends who served with me in reserve service. So what am I supposed to do? Okay, we were in combat. This guy suffered a bullet to his chest. Combat is over. I have the ability to do something which will violate Shabbat and save him. I'm not supposed to save him? I mean, this guy was fighting right next to me. It's impossible for us to grasp it. So together with that, the situation today is that really, halachically, it's impossible to go back to that default law. And because of the media that we have today, so we will be able to go ahead and act upon what we feel instinctively is correct and moral. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that Kadosh Baruch Hu lets us 99% of the time live with this kind of dissonance. He takes care of the situation. If we really feel so strongly that this is immoral, and that's generally a positive feeling. Yeah, that you want to help any human being who's in distress now, possibly is going to die. You want to give them the care that you can give them. So he also creates the situation where that would be possible. So when you're doing that, you don't have to think all the time, wait, I'm only doing this because of this technical issue within the law. That's just the way we got to the situation that we are in. But I think it's okay to feel that, okay, what you're doing now is a positive thing, and this is the situation that Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to be in the world right now, because really we are making moral progress. And the fact that we naturally feel that we should be saving any human being is a positive progression. And in order to accommodate that progression, also other things changed in the world that really enable us to do that. So, again, going back to the issue of Amalek, I mean, this seems like totally irrelevant. So going back to the issue of Amalek, yes, it seems to us impossible to fulfill such a commandment. And the fact is that today, there is no such ability to fulfill this commandment because we do not know who the Amalekites are. They have been spread upon the world, and therefore this commandment is irrelevant today. And what I think we could claim again is not that this is just some kind of technical occurrence, a historical occurrence. Okay, once this commandment existed, now it doesn't exist, and that's just for technical reasons. No, it's fundamental because we are making this moral progress, and it seems to us just impossible to just go ahead and slaughter people. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu also creates the situation that really we will not have to do that. So it's not just because, oh, whoops, we don't know who these people are. We don't know who these people are because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us not to know who these people are and not have to live, again, with dissonance between our general beliefs and the Torah. Okay, now, another source that I feel is important is what the Torah tells us in Dvarim Eradicating. The Torah discusses there a situation where, according to the Talmud, is a hypothetical situation. It never existed, it never will exist. But if an entire city is worshiping idols, and well, it has to be more than half of the city altogether is worshiping idols, the law is that we have to go and burn down the entire city. Now, obviously, that is a severe act of violence, which will have its natural outcome on who we are and what we feel. You can't just wake up in the morning, drink your coffee, go out and burn down a town with men, women, and children, and then feel that nothing happened. Obviously, that will take its toll on you. So the Torah ends here in Pasuk Yudchet. It says that Kadosh Baruch Hu v'natan lecha l'chamim v'lichamcha. Kadosh Baruch Hu will give you the mercy that is needed in order to overcome that natural toll that going out and killing people has on you. So again, we're not saying that generally they're just people who deserve to die, and therefore we're going out and doing it. The Torah is giving us a commandment, And along with the commandment is the understanding that this is not natural, that really something is wrong. Something here can have severe ramifications as far as spirituality, and therefore the Torah promises us that we will receive the mercy that is needed to really overcome this.
Why is that a hypothetical? There'd be a city where the majority of inhabitants worship idols. Haven't there absolutely been cities where the majority of inhabitants worship idols?
Yeah, so I forgot the exact criteria that a city has to do in order to become an annihilating. But for instance, in the same piece, the Talmud says that there has never been a ben soel moed, and there remember a little more about the details, like his parents have to be, I think maybe the same height, and they have to have the same kind of voice, and like very, very exact criteria, which is virtually impossible that it will actually happen. So, it's more like teaching us a point to shock us and show us how severe certain issues are. But in order to really fulfill the criteria, it's going to be like 1 to millions, and it's just not going to happen.
The Talmud explains exactly what the criteria is.
I believe so. Again, I remember that much more as far as the ben soel moed. I'm sure that for Ir Nidach, there's also a set of criteria that it has to fulfill in order to formally become an Ir Nidach, which again will be virtually impossible. Okay, so just to sum up this point, I think that the Torah is telling us, yes, this isn't natural. Which is why I feel it's okay to claim what I said before, that really it's not just, okay, we have this dissonance between our set of beliefs in the Torah, and then we have to try to amend that. It's not just that. It's really that our set of beliefs is fundamentally positive. It is not natural to go out and kill anybody. It's like, some people, I remember in the army, were constantly looking for action. They were hoping things were going to happen. And I'm like, if God forbid I'm ever in that situation, so I pray to God that I'm going to be the one to shoot first and prevail. But am I hoping that will happen? No. I hope that I can get through my life without having to kill any terrorist or any attacker. If I have to, I will. So, it's I heard once from in the Shir by Rav Asher Weiss, Rav in Ramot. So he said, in the time of the Mishnah, when they still used to execute people, if there was an executioner, it was like this jolly person, and he would, always had like a song on his lips, and was just so happy with what he does because he's eradicating the people that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to leave this world. He said, if I would see a person like that, I would fire him immediately. There are certain jobs that you're not supposed to go ahead and do joyfully. They are seriously tragic situations that are there, and you have to do whatever you have to do. But you don't have to feel that, this is so great, this is wonderful, and I'm so happy to be in this situation. So, really our natural feeling when we read about this, about Amalek and this mitzvah of going out and having to kill an entire nation, that natural feeling is good. It's supposed to be there. And really, if we end up having to do it, I believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu really in turn helps us and takes away that natural outcome that follows when one person takes the life of another. And honestly, I think that could be the same situation when fighting today, fighting terrorists or other types of attackers. I heard of snipers in Sahel that have literally gone mad. When you're looking through a telescopic sight and you hit a person, and then that person is dying, and you take another shot, and the person is still, that's a shocking experience, regardless of who this person was and what he did. What you see in that telescopic sight is a human being who is now losing his life. And that's something not simple, something that we really need some godly help in order to overcome. Now, just two last points very quickly. Rav Kook here discusses the exact issue of fighting Amalek. And he says, we have to remember what this nation has brought to the world. When we think of things like child sacrifice, he talks about Slifat Banim Ubanot Ba'esh, talks about very terrible, cruel actions that they were advocating, that they were teaching in the world. When you think of that, think of something that really angers you. Think of stories that you heard from the Holocaust, of such terrible, unfathomable cruelty. When you think of those situations and think, these are the people we are fighting, and again, to connect it to the first point that I said, as far as Rambam, that we are talking about a nation, that we reached out and said, would you like to make peace? Would you like to live? You don't have to become Jewish. We never advocate that. We never try to convert people to become Jewish. All we're saying is that they have to fulfill the 7 Noahide laws. That's all we're asking of them. And they say no. They continue to fight on. So we have to remember who these people are and what kind of cruelty they're capable of. And it's amazing to see the descriptions that the Midrashim give of what exactly Amalek did to the Jews in the desert. And this was written thousands of years ago. And you compare that to stories that we know from the Holocaust, and unfortunately even up until today, we hear terrible stories that go on, and the cruelty that certain people are capable of. I think that helps us understand a little bit more what we're doing. Because if you do not fight somebody who is cruel, so in a certain sense, that in and of itself is cruel. You know, I'll just sort of throw out a dilemma. What happens if you have a terrorist who planted a nuclear bomb in the middle of one of the biggest cities in America? So he knows, he did it. You know for sure that he did it. He knows where it is. Tens of thousands of people are about to die. And he's not giving you that information. What do you do?
The chicken bomb scenario is one of the only ones where most people would say that torture is justified.
Right. Which again brings up another debate as far as does torture really work? That's another thing.
It depends what for. It has to be immediately verifiable.
Right, of course. Just saying, I think that most people would agree that in such a situation, this person who's holding tens of thousands of people hostage has given up his right to any civil treatment, and therefore we are going to go ahead and instead of being cruel to those tens of thousands of people, we'd rather be cruel to this person. Again, the person who is in charge of torturing this terrorist, you know, I don't want to be in that situation, and I'm sure that that it's not going to be a pretty picture for the person who's performing these actions. It's not going to be easy, and he's going to have to overcome the natural outcome of this. But I think everyone would agree that it would be more cruel to protect this individual. And the last point here is from the Sefer Chinuch, who, as you know, usually brings the explanation for the different mitzvahs, and he gives the Torah's reasoning. And he says that the root of this mitzvah is that anybody who is doing anything to harm Am Yisrael, to harm the Jews, is somebody who, in a sense, is fighting against the Kadosh Baruch Hu and therefore we have to not have compassion for those people. And again, it seems if you just say it like academically, oh, you know, what do you mean? You should have compassion for all people, and that is not true. Again, when you start thinking of examples and you start thinking of the different kinds of individuals who are willing to go to extremes that we can't even, we'd rather not think about. So these are people that the Torah is teaching us we have to have some kind of negative feelings towards these people. And that's something very important to learn, because oftentimes we want to, I could have also felt, hey, why should I be talking about this? This is like a not politically correct kind of talk to be giving. Maybe people have very strong feelings against it, but that's exactly the point. The fact that it's a mitzvah mideoraita, it's a mitzvah from the Torah, to listen once a year to this Kriyas Torah that we're going to have this Shabbat, where we're going to be reading about what Amalek did to us. What the Torah is trying to teach us is that you can't just go ahead and live, this kind of dream world in which everything is so blissful and you just love everyone and everything is so beautiful. Because once you do that, so what's really happening is that naturally you are giving up your compassion for other people. If you say, okay, that's their country, they're doing whatever they're doing, it's none of my business, let's just trust them, they're good people. What you're doing is you're ignoring a country where possibly thousands or millions of people are being persecuted, and just in the name of not doing anything negative towards any individual. And I think that the only way to really reach true compassion and to really fully be able to express the values that we stand for, which are fundamental positive values, the only way to do that is to realize that, unfortunately, there is much evil in the world, and we have to have deep negative feelings towards that evil in order to, again, fully appreciate the good and to be able to really do something with that good. And unfortunately, sometimes the only way to make the world a better place is to take out some of the evil people.